supposed to be like a 4 seasons, so they're supposed to be somewhat formal, but then you're in Hawaii, so there's the relaxed linen. And, you know, I remember when I first went to Hawaii, I couldn't believe that all the guys were wearing aloha shirts. I was like, really? They really wear Hawaiian shirts?
That's a real thing?
Yeah, that actually happens.
Hello and welcome to the Art of Costume Blogcast. It is I, Lord Spencer Williams. I can say that because Elizabeth is not joining us today, so I could call myself Lord if I want to this week. Sorry, Elizabeth. I'm sure she's listening right now and she's pounding her fist together ready to fight next time we speak. So yeah, it is just me this week, but we have an incredible episode this week. You are going to love it. We are talking about The White Lotus, my new favorite show. I know the show is not very new, but I'm new to the world. I just watched it for some reason last week, so I know I'm really behind, but the costumes were so good. I was dying of laughter this entire show. Also so anxious. I was pacing around my bedroom as I was watching it. We have Jennifer Coolidge, who just delivers some really solid lines. Sydney Sweeney looking so good. Armand in those pink linen suits looking a little bit of a mess. There's a lot to talk about here. But before we dive into it, I'll give you a little summary before we dive behind the wardrobe. So The White Lotus is about the exploits of various guests and employees at a tropical resort over the span of a week. So now it's time to dive behind the wardrobe. This was brought to us by director Mike White and costume designer Alex Bovaird. You will know Alex from her work on Bad Education, The Unforgivable, The Spy Who Dumped Me, Sorry for Your Loss, The Foreigner, and the brand new Jordan Peele film, Nope, which you have to see. It is so good. And I'm so excited. This show was nominated for 1,002 Emmys, and one of them being for costume design. So I knew immediately I had to talk to Alex about these costumes. Everyone, I'm so happy to introduce Alex Bovaird. Alex, welcome to the studio.
Thank you, Spencer. Thanks for having me here virtually. It's really nice to meet you as well.
All the way from Iceland, too, which is crazy.
Indeed. A rare sunny day here in Reykjavik.
I love that. So when I was getting ready, actually, for this interview, I was watching The White Lotus, and I was like, I really want to talk to the costume designer from The White Lotus. As I was doing that, I was on the way to the movies to go see Nope. And I got an email, actually, and they were like, hey, do you want to talk to the costume designer from White Lotus and Nope? It was the craziest coincidence. So
wow,
I'm so excited to talk to you.
You called me in. I am the one today.
Right. I just put it into the universe. First, congratulations on the Emmy nomination. How does that feel?
Oh, thanks, Spencer. It's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. I found out in the morning, and my husband and I were like looking online, and we were like, wait, because somebody called me and congratulated me, and we looked online and we were like, wait, does this really mean we've been nominated? Like, what does this mean? Like, how do we know this is real? Huh? It was so, it is a bit strange, but really, really nice, and really, I'm really happy for the people in my team who contributed so strongly to this very special project in Hawaii. So yeah, happy for everybody.
Right. It must feel like such a surreal moment. And it's such a packed category this year. There's some really amazing shows this year. So that must feel good too.
Yeah, TV is just like, it's like open season for the last few years. There's so many good television shows because of the, it's streaming wars and, the battle for attention. And then I feel that as an audience, we just have been gulping up television shows. They drop and we consume them, and then we need another one.
I'm guilty of this. I constantly need to be fed.
It's crazy. We would just show up, every Monday and watch one episode, and now we're ready for more after a week or so. We're ready for the next one. So it is a full deck out there.
Right. Well, I'm so excited to dive into the White Lotus. This is one of those shows that you just knew you were going to love. So I'll admit I was late to watch it because I just knew I was like, I'm going to love this show. I have to get through these other shows. And I came back to it and it was so worth the wait. I don't know why I made myself wait. It's so beautiful and colorful and somehow joyous, but also like nonstop anxiety. I'm like pacing around my bedroom when I'm watching it. But you're like, the costumes are just so beautiful, though. It's like a real crazy thing. So I first just want to dive into just the inspirations for the White Lotus. The characters come off as very rich, very vacation-y, lots of florals. How did you start with this? Were you just walking around hotels and just taking pictures of people?
Ooh, that would have been great. But sadly, no, was not sent on that research trip. But it's funny you say that about White Lotus, because I just did season 2 and Mike described it as like a fever dream, like how he wants to approach it as like, yes, it's, he's got stuff to say, but he's mostly here to entertain. And part of that is, we talked about it with White Lotus season 1 as well, just creating this experience that you just are really enjoying watching and, really getting into the characters, but also just having this, fun palette to work with and to inspire you and to aspire to. And we definitely did our research, but not in real life, but through lots, really engaging with that world of like wealthy vacationers and seeing what they actually wear and trying to base it in reality and then heighten it a bit, because sometimes people just go on holiday in their sweatpants and we definitely didn't want to do that. We wanted to up the ante and say that we like the idea that when you go on vacation, you are somewhat putting on a little bit of a show. You're imagining how you want to be when you're on holiday. So there's a slight element of costuming yourself that we tried to put in there, like, who am I on holiday and what am I going to pack?
Right, that's so fascinating.
It's a fun approach, and also just we riffed a lot on the colors of Hawaii and the fruits and the flowers. And so there's, mango and lychee and, the blue of the ocean and, pineapple. And we did lots and lots of floral prints, lots of vibrant colors, and just tried to, go all out tropical assault.
Right. Lots of pineapple.
Yeah.
I was really taken back by just all the prints and the colors. I mean, especially the prints. It was like everything you're throwing at us, I was obsessed with. And the fabrics. You have an incredible use of fabrics. Can we just dive into all these patterns and fabrics? Yeah.
Well, we did. Luckily, people couldn't argue against it too much. As a costume designer, my appetite for prints knows no bounds. Prints and textures, and trying to paint paint the canvas with lots and lots of different textures and prints is always something that excites me. And no one could really argue that they should wear black or gray or so I wasn't getting any kickback from anybody. And Mike White, the director too, wanted to go there. So he wanted to have a lot of fun. And really, I credit him with leaving me alone, which is just
always nice.
He always wanted to see what we were doing, but he kind of let he trusted me that I knew what everybody else was wearing. So he didn't micromanage me to the point where, you know, he knew that I had to keep a lot of things in mind. So he didn't question it, and trusted that I was thinking of the entire cast when I was showing him certain things. And yeah, we wanted a richness and a diversity in the animals and the flowers, and kind of just went for it. And it entwined with the production design as well. We met and talked about the wallpapers, and it's funny, they ended up using a lot of the stuff in the opening credits too. So
oh yeah.
so I know it was a big theme. The prints really just took over the whole show.
Yeah. And also what is like most striking to me out of anything is the color palettes you use, because it's such a beautifully shot show cinematically, and the costumes just really stand out at all the time. And sometimes I feel like it really speaks to the different characters' moods as well. So I was wondering how much of that was intentional when you're picking colors.
Yeah, we did. We went for a, cheery vibe overall. And then it was underscored with that like creepy music. So it just helped to do that, juxtaposing with the different art forms. I know that we purposefully let Paula be more moody as the two kind of diverged. So her color palette started to get more, she starts to wear black and not trying so hard. And so her mood darkens and her clothes do too. The uniforms were devised with the colors too. We went for like lychee and ocean blue and aqua and mango orange. So we tried to keep them, tropical, beachy tropical, but also formal, kind of, it's supposed to be like a 4 seasons. So they're supposed to be somewhat formal, but then you're in Hawaii. So there's the relaxed linen. And, I remember when I first went to Hawaii, I couldn't believe that all the guys were wearing aloha shirts. I was like, really? They really wear Hawaiian shirts?
That's a real thing?
Yeah, that actually happens. There's one of my costumers who was working with me said that there's a term, like they call it like when they're dressing people, they're like, oh, they should look Hawaiian business. And that means they're wearing an aloha shirt and a pair of slacks.
I feel like I should move here, honestly.
If you haven't been to Hawaii, you need to get yourself on a plane. It's really a magical place. And the fact that people do walk around in these aloha shirts, these Hawaiian shirts, is really part of the just laid back sort of aloha, this like casual magical spirit that's there. But so we had to put that in the uniforms because, people really do. That's really part of dressing up in a button shirt is you would wear your aloha shirt.
Well, speaking of the aloha shirt, Armand really is the spitting image of what you're talking about, except though sometimes he's very dressed up. I love this character. I thought his costumes were actually some of the most fascinating in a series, which is saying a lot because there's a lot of kooky characters out there. I love what you did with Armand because, maybe because I'm just a costume design nerd, but he's clearly wearing linen and it's getting more and more wrinkled throughout the series. He's really kind of unraveling a little bit. And then we have that finale where he wears my favorite costume, I think. It's this, I can't even describe it, this really fun button-up shirt. And it's kind of faded, actually, a little bit, which is kind of, he's at the end of his life. He doesn't know that yet. So there's just a lot happening with his costume. Can we dive into it?
Yeah. So we can talk about his death shirt. Spoiler, if anyone hasn't seen White Lotus.
We have a spoiler alert at the beginning, so we're past that.
We killed Armand in that crazy shirt so he spends the whole episode in this outfit. So sometimes he has the linen jacket on top, and then at other times, he, through the day, he's got the jacket off. But he dies in the shirt. And so we wanted to go out with a bang.
Yeah.
And also, this is like it's based on like a vintage Hawaiian shirt. So that's why it looks a little more faded, is that it's sort of got this vintagey feel.
Ooh.
By a company called Rain Spooner, who are Hawaiian, and they specialize in these vintage prints. And it's just got this crazy sea snake, I think, on it, and blue coral, and it's just sort of batshit. And of course, it was difficult. We had to get a lot of them, and to try and copy the trouble is, if you want to kill someone off in a printed outfit, it's very difficult to match the prints. And so we had to get a lot of these shirts and try and line up the sea snakes in exactly the same spot.
Oh, yeah. That's the
way
pain.
they're manufactured. Like, the sea snake would be all over the place. And so the mechanics of filming make it very tricky unless you have an identical shirt. So we spent a lot of time poring over that shirt and making sure we had.
Gonna say, way to pick the craziest shirt for the death scene.
You really have to push for it, because it's really complicated to do a big print like that. But I love that shirt too, and I'm glad we went for it. And I'm lucky that Mike White loves pink, because it's my favorite color.
Right. I was very happy about that too. And then his linen suits are just so attractive. But again, I love how you let it get wrinkled up, though. That's a cool note.
It gets annihilated because, in the last couple episodes, he's really deteriorating, and he's up all night doing drugs. So it's important that he sweats into his linen suit, and then it starts to look kind of ragged, so that you can really see the disintegration of his mind, also in the disintegration of his clothes. And linen's a great fabric for that, because it wrinkles up nice and easy.
Yeah, it was so fun to see. Let's get into our vacationing families a little bit. First, we have the Mossbachers, Nicole and Mark, who are just the epitome of rich elegance, I would say. Connie Britton is amazing. Then we also have the kids. We have, I guess I shouldn't say kids, they're in college. Quinn, Olivia, and Paula. They all have such unique wardrobes. See, each of these characters, it's really fascinating. What can you tell me about the Mossbachers?
Connie plays Nicole Mossbacher, and she's, the CFO of a company that's similar to Goop.
That's so funny.
Like
that's what I was going to say too.
So there's a little bit of Gwyneth Paltrow in her, but also, nobody gets away with a muted palette on the White Lotus. So, she, gets the colorful outfits as well, but she's someone who kind of knows exactly how to dress, and, has the right fabrics for Hawaii, the breathable cottons, and, we'll wear silk at night. And we always thread vintage into the clothes. This was shot at the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh. And
so there wasn't a lot of shops open. And also there weren't many new clothes, because factories hadn't been making them. So I definitely went far and wide to pull the costumes together, and used a lot of secondhand and vintage and things like that to make it to get an assembly of different outfits. And she likes her hats, and
I was going to say the hat game is strong with her.
Yeah, she's really game. I was really lucky with the cast of White Lotus. They were really, willing to go there for their characters, and really got into the Hawaii of it all, and didn't bump against it. And she has, great hats and sunglasses, and she has several bags. She has tote bags for her laptop, because she's, never far away from work.
Yeah.
And then the kids are the Quinn is kind of a stoner, he's still in high school. He's got this, he shops at Zoomies.
He likes his tie-dye.
Yeah. He likes his tie-dye and his strange t-shirts. He spends a whole episode in his underwear. And then he sort of has this enlightened moment where he goes kayaking with the locals, so he gets his mojo, and but he doesn't really change up what he's brought because he's just packed it. But he dresses up for dinner a little bit because his mom would expect him to. Everybody, we kind of took a little license too. We say that everybody gets changed for dinner, which doesn't always happen when you're on holiday. But and then the girls, they're very self-assured, Gen Z. They do a lot of thrifting. They're a little eco-conscious. So a lot of their clothes are thrifted. They kind of eschew fast fashion, but they are typical of the type of girls that they are. They're not really into branding, but they're very at the same time aware of what they're wearing and try to, very carefully put their outfits together so that they seem just thrown together, but everything's very well thought of. And also they get painted with color, of course.
Oh, yeah. I love these two characters, Brittany O'Grady and Sydney Sweeney, the HBO Queen. They both killed these roles so much. And every costume they wore, I was like, oh, that's so good. Just seeing them read at the pool is like a treat.
I remember seeing that scene in the dailies and seeing how good the actresses were, because sometimes when you watch dailies, it's a bit dry. So you can't really get it. But when the performances are that good, you can instantly see. Because I'd done the fittings with them and I was really staggered. I thought, wow, these are great actresses. Right. So I knew they were going to be.
Okay, so we have to talk about the Patins, who I'm like, ugh, I don't want to talk about these characters. They give me so much anxiety. But Shane in the Cornell hat is one of my favorite notes from the show too. It says so much about the character without saying anything at all. We have to dive into the newlyweds.
Yep. I love the Cornell hat too. We talked a lot about what college it should be. And we settled on Cornell. And, he's just that kind of bro who would do that. We wanted to make sure that, Jake Lacey, actually, he has a lot to say about clothes, and he wanted to make sure that he sort of looked good, as well as he's like the Vineyard Vines guy. Yeah. But he felt like the fits should be good, and we did more alterations on Shane than anybody else, I think. Like, we wanted to make sure his shorts fit just right, like not too short, not too long.
He's very tailored. He's conscious about what he's wearing.
He's very tailored. He's like a little bit, more fashion conscious than you might encounter on the ferry to Nantucket. But still very much that guy. He's got some Vineyard Vine trousers, and he wears the Ralph Lauren polo shirts in those kind of sherbet colors. But also he's got, his Etro linen shirt, and he wears like some just nicer resort wear. And then Rachel is based on someone I know that married someone in finance, but was also kind of an artsy chick that I used to hang out with in the East Village.
I was going to say Rachel's a little bit harder to figure out from a costume point of view. Her costumes don't exactly tell you who she is, which is kind of to the character, actually.
That's what we thought. It's like she has married Shane, but they haven't been together that long, and she is still trying to figure herself out, still asking herself questions about why she married this guy, because their values don't totally align, and they come from slightly different worlds, but not really in the end. But so we did put that into her clothes a bit. Like she also has some cooler vintage pieces mixed in with her Lily Pulitzer dress and her Goyard bag. Like she also has some sweet little vintage finds that she got in the East Village. I love that. Kind of a mixture. She's a bit mixed up, like her character.
Yeah, that's so funny you say that, because then we have Shane's mom, who's the quite opposite. She's not mixed up. We know exactly who she is the moment she walks in, just wearing like really dramatic hot pink. You know automatically who this person is.
Yeah, she was really fun. I'm hoping she'll come back for season 3 or something, because I want more Kitty. I want her to come with her friends.
Yeah, that would be so good.
The next White Lotus on a girls trip. Yeah, Molly is so fun and has that background and, sketch comedy. And so clothes are really important to her. And the fittings with her were really, really hilarious, and she's definitely knows what she wants, but is also very deferential and wants to know what you're thinking, and very, very collaborative. And her clothes are bold, and she's large and in charge, and we wanted her costumes to reflect that. We made sure to give her frills and bows and be like a little bit from this world where she's always been a princess. And, when you go to these communities, they are wearing a lot of hot pink and, strong prints, even wherever they are. So we definitely had her like that.
Right. She's kind of peacocking about the hotel, I would say.
Yeah, and she wears really expensive jewelry. We were able to borrow some real... So she's covered in like hundreds of thousands of dollars of bling, which really is nice.
Oh, wow.
It twinkles, and we're not always able to do that, but it was kind of easy for us to do because we were bolted in the hotel.
Right. I'm obsessed with this show. And then we have the character of all characters, Tanya, played by the Jennifer Coolidge. I mean, talking about a fashion show, every single look, I was like, oh, that's my favorite. That's my favorite. I love the black look she wears when she's trying to put her mother's ashes in the ocean for the first time.
Yeah. And
her palm tree look, that green outfit is so good. I mean, every outfit's so good.
Thank you. It's so cool to see it all together out there. It looks great. You've got some fun Tanya pictures. She's
this is what my house looks like now. It's just pictures of Tanya everywhere.
Oh my God, she's so fun. Obviously, Jennifer is a hoot to work with, and but we tried to, we wanted her to look like a little bit of a hot mess, but not so. But we also wanted her to look appealing, and clothes that we would also like to wear in a way. We didn't want to laugh at Tanya and be like, oh, what, her ensembles are kind of out there, but we also wanted them to be. We wanted the audience to like Tanya, so we tried to walk that line of. Yes, she's a bit of a mess, and she's rich, and she, has been single her whole life, and she's going through a bit of a, breakdown. We tried to walk that line so that she seemed vulnerable, but also, I mean, she's kind of a bad egg, but also she's, means well. And we tried to make sure her clothes looked like someone we kind of liked. And then Jennifer likes tailored clothing. So we always had to kind of do that almost impossible thing of like flowy but tight at the same time. So right. Trying to get that balance right, because we felt like soft sheer layers was good for her vulnerability. We felt like if she was too tailored, then she'd be too strong, and we didn't feel like Tanya would be that put together.
Right. It has to almost feel like it's something she kind of like is going through a rack and just kind of puts it on real quick because she's still on the go, even if she is feeling like a mess throughout the entire vacation. Do you have a favorite Tanya look or a favorite couple looks?
I like the two. They're two kind of similar ones that you talked about too. There's the palm tree green, and there's the sort of lilac and orange monkey print that she arrives in. I think those are my favorites, definitely, because they're just very strong, and you're like, who? A bit mysterious. You're like, who is this person? And she clearly has money, but she's, we tied them slightly wonky, so she seemed a little off. Yeah. But those are my favorites, and those are from a South American, a Colombian designer that I found. I was struggling to get the clothes at the time of year, so kind of went to some more tropical areas and found this designer down there.
She just gave me so much joy. So funny. I just want to go on vacation now. I need it.
Yeah, I think that's what was nice was, nobody was traveling at the time. So a lot of people got some wish fulfillment out of the show.
Right. And then finally, also what I noticed was that all the costumes of the local people of the island felt really real and authentic to me. I'm guessing you probably put in a lot of research in identifying what these costumes would look like.
Yeah, we met with the troops that come into the hotel to do the luau, and made sure that our grass skirts were, the same as theirs, and they taught us how to tie some of the sarongs. There's a guy who lights the conch every night, and he wears it's called a lika. It's like a male pareo, and there's a certain way to tie it. You can look on YouTube, but it's also fun to get to have a local show you how to do it. And one of my costumers was Hawaiian and was helpful too, and helped me make some of the jewelry and headdresses.
Oh, I love that. I felt very just beautiful, and it really brought me in, and I just felt like, I don't know, I was not even sure if you made these. I was like, this just feels so real. It really brings you into the world.
Yeah, that scene's neat because they shoot it with all the tiki torches as well. So looks beautiful. Helps when the lighting is good too.
Yeah. Alex, I love the show so much. I'm so glad to hear that you did season 2 also. I cannot wait. I know you probably can't say anything about it, but I'm on the edge of my seat waiting.
Coming at you.
Well, Alex, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, I'm so excited to talk to you about Jordan Peele's new movie, Nope. I can't believe you did both of these things.
I know. I'm so lucky. They're really fun. Really, my kind of pop culture mayhem.
Right.
Hi, this is Dan, audio engineer of the Blogcast, here to let you know that if you wanted to support the show, you can head over to theartofcostume.com/podstore. There you can buy some awesome TeePublic merch with the Blogcast logo. We have shirts, sweaters, coffee mugs, stickers, and of course, a baby onesie. Thank you for all of your support.
Such a fun episode. Alex is so incredible. I could talk to her forever. But luckily for you, the fun does not have to stop here. In just 2 days, on Thursday, we're going to release the second part of this interview where we talk about the costumes of Jordan Peele's Nope. So head to the theaters immediately, see this film, see it in IMAX if you can. The film was shot in IMAX, so you really got to get into it. The costumes are so good. And if you'll be joining us next week as well, which I really hope you do, we have a great episode. Elizabeth convinced me to watch the show Dairy Girls, which that is on Netflix. Elizabeth will be back for that, so don't be too sad. She's coming back. It's going to be a good time. Lots of great costumes in Dairy Girls. Until then, leave us a voicemail at 626-515-1826. Let us know what you thought about the costumes of the White Lotus. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at the Art of Costume Pod, TikTok at the Art of Costume. Subscribe to us on Patreon for more behind-the-scenes moments at patreon.com/The Art of Costume. We have some great exclusive episodes just for Patreon members. And go to our merch store. Get yourself a hoodie. It's starting to get cold, I hope. I'm going to keep saying that until it becomes true. So, theartofcostume.com/podstore. Thank you all so much for listening, and join me and Alex in a couple days for Nope.
The Art of Costume Blogcast is hosted and produced by Elizabeth Joy Glass and Spencer Williams. Our audio engineering and editing is done by Dan White. Follow us on Instagram at The Art of Costume Pod, or visit theartofcostumeblogcast.com for all blogcast updates. If you want to support the show, go to theartofcostume.com/podstore. Or you can head over to patreon.com/theartofcostume for some bonus content. For more costume reviews, deep dives, and interviews, head over to theartofcostume.com, a blog dedicated to highlighting the best in costume design.